Good morning, and welcome back to the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, Mac in the Morning Show. This is episode number 8, and as I always like to do in the beginning, I'd like to thank our subscribers. We're getting very close to 400. As I record this, we sit at 398. Hopefully somebody new out there will give us a couple of bumps and get us over 400. We're trying to do that by the end of September. But today's topic is, do we need police reform, or do we need citizen reform, or do we need both? I ask this question because if you were to believe some, the police are out hunting black people and shooting them down for no reason whatsoever. Of course we know that's nonsense. I can't think of one case that I've ever heard of where that was the scenario. But that's the lie being pushed by the left because they want to get rid of the police so they can replace them with Obama's national police force idea. And I think the purpose behind that is these thugs, and that's what they'll be, thugs, will do the job of collecting your firearms. That's what that's all about. They don't care about black people getting killed. They're just using blacks as useful idiots, and so many are willing to comply. But let's start off with police reform. I have some ideas about police reform. I think in some of these instances where we see a lot of excessive force, you have to understand that I think maybe these officers may be having some level of PTSD. When every time you walk up to a police car and you know there's a good chance you get killed, you'll never go home to your family, you never see your wife and kids again, it puts a great deal of stress on you, and it wears you out over time. So I think we need to do some PTSD counseling, and I think we need to hire more police officers to make it possible for police officers to have more time off so that stress doesn't build up to that level. And maybe we'll see a little relaxing. Everyone talks about police and community relations. I do think that needs to happen. I think the people get to know the police. I think they get to, the police get to know the people, and everybody's a little less apprehensive when they come across somebody they know opposed to someone who they don't, who may kill them. And it isn't just a matter of walking up to a car in a traffic stop or going to a house on a domestic. It's also a matter of just sitting somewhere and having your coffee and eating your lunch or filling out a report that some little guy this tall is going to run up and shoot you and your partner in the face and several times in the side. It's what happened in Los Angeles County here recently. Now on the citizen side of the thing, I think we ought to be starting probably at about 10, 12 years old, having the police go into schools, meet these kids, become familiar with them, explain to the kids what they do, and explain to these kids their concerns. And maybe as they get a little older, put them through these scenarios, these shoot or don't shoot scenarios, so that they come to an understanding as to how their actions can be misinterpreted and be seen as a threat. Why it's important to show your hands. Why it's important to stop when the officer says stop. And when he says come over here, you come over here. And just to obey the officer and get a clear understanding of what you can do to be safe so that the officer relaxes, you relax, everyone can be more relaxed, and less mistakes and less accidents are going to happen. At least that's my belief. I think these would be worthwhile things to at least take a look at and give a try. I don't think that, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden claim they have a progressive police reform plan. That sounds like a bunch of nonsense. It sounds like to me a plan to pull the teeth of the police and cut their nuts off and just make the criminal more and more aggressive and make it more and more difficult for the police officers to protect their lives. I don't think that benefits anybody. I think it'll only lead to more mistakes and more killings. So that's my quick take on it. As you know, we like to keep these videos short in the morning, just give you a quick hit or so. That's my thought on police reform or citizen reform. I think maybe we could use both. So as we like to say on the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.